Hey guys, since I've done another video regarding parenting, I'm going to keep the subject of the videos I record today on a parenting spectrum and go from there. Now, this is a video I wanted to do for a while, I think even prior to getting pregnant with Rain or whatever, but I always went back and forth with recording it because it's kind of like a touchy issue and it's hard to not offend certain people when talking about this, but or make somebody feel some type of way. But I guess I did want to speak on it regardless because it's how I felt about things. So this video is regarding children who live in a house with parents and stepchildren who may not live in the same house. Okay, what prompted this video was a while back. Now, honestly, I think I wanted to record this video after Rain, not prior to Rain. A while back, I followed, I think her name is Adrian Bosch, Chris Bosch's, the guy who plays for the Miami Heat, home team all day, his wife. And I noticed that a lot of things, she posts pictures and stuff like that, and I noticed that people had a lot of opinions when it came to her son and his daughter, because if you guys know about the situation, if you don't, you can go ahead and Google it. Chris Bosh has 2 children, one with his wife Adrian, and then I guess one with his, I don't know if she's his ex-wife or his baby mama. He has an older daughter. His child that isn't with his wife is older than the one that is with his wife. So I noticed that whenever she would post pictures regarding certain things, people would comment regarding his daughter. Like, okay, first off, as a new mother, although when meeting Chris Bosh, he had a child already, Adrian had not had a child. So as new mothers, I don't know, everybody can't relate to this, but as a new mother, you're excited about everything about your child. You just want the world to know everything about your child, everything you're doing with your child, yada yada. So as a new mother, she was posting a lot of pictures on a lot of different firsts for her son and a lot of different things. One of those things happened to be them taking I think a family trip overseas to, I think that's when it was during Olympic time, and stuff like that. So I noticed that a lot of people, every time she would put up a picture about his first, or pictures of him and her and Chris, people would be like, oh, so where's his daughter? How come his daughter isn't there? And this and that. And I would be like, well, damn, first of all, at the time, Chris was going through a custody issue with his daughter's mother. So when I thought about it, I thought about, okay, his daughter's not there because obviously there's an issue going on with the mom. So obviously the daughter could not come. Logically, I mean, that's what I was thinking. And then I thought about it as a point of view of having children with a person that already has a child with somebody else, how things differ. Now, when in a situation like that, people can say, okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit. Now, being a stepmom myself, I believe as a stepmom, you always feel like you have to prove something to people all the time. You feel like you have to place people have these expectations of you as a stepmom that you have to adhere to, but people don't acknowledge the efforts that you put into being a stepmom. Basically saying this is what you're supposed to do, but if you don't do it, or if you don't do it the way people feel like you should do it, then there's a problem. And when you do it, oh, that's what you were supposed to do. In my situation, when I met my husband, my husband did not have any children to my knowledge, and then some stuff spilled over and yada yada yada. But this is not even regarding my actual stepson. My husband didn't have any children. I conceived my son, and then he conceived a child with somebody else. My son and my stepson are a month apart in age. You want to see the video regarding that? Go ahead and click here in the link. So it wasn't like I was brought into the situation where, okay, this is what it is, and I have a child already, so, you know, yada yada yada. Even though I probably wouldn't have had a problem with that, because I've dated men with children prior to my husband when I was dating. It wasn't my first choice, but I did date men with children. And so that was my whole take on it. But I did decide to stay in a relationship with my husband even after everything transpired, and decided to be with him because I loved him and, you know, stuff like that. So I accepted the situation because that's the only way our relationship would have worked, if I accept the situation, obviously. And I took on my role as a stepmother very seriously, to the point that, you know, I did, because I've been a stepchild and now I'm a step parent, and I know how it felt being a stepchild to somebody who was not biologically your parent when shifts happen. So I never wanted my stepchild to feel a certain way regarding my children and me and their father. So a lot of the times I went above and beyond what most stepmothers do, where I was like, everything my children had, I wanted my stepson to have. Everything my children were involved in, I wanted my stepson to be involved in. The same way like I was with my children, with my son in his grades, I wanted my husband to be as, you know, as involved with my stepson. With, you know, I just wanted them to be on an even ground. But the reality of the situation is, the children who are with the parent and the children the children who are with the parent full time, and the children, okay, basically my children and my stepson are never going to be on a level playing ground, because number one, my stepson doesn't live with us full time. So the things that my kids may get or my kids may experience, my stepson may not be able to get or experience. Number one, if my children get something, not all the time that it comes from us. So if my children get something from somebody else, obviously my stepson isn't going to get that because he's not around at the time. If my children go somewhere, and for instance, if my stepson's mom plans something for him to do at that same time, he's not going to get to experience what my children have experienced because he's had to do something else. So it's never going to be even playing even. Go back to, I'm looking at my notes because I did write notes on this. But yeah, okay. There's not going to be like a basically there's not going to be it's never going to be even out. No matter how we want it to be even out, it's never going to be leveled out like that. Basically, people have these preconceived notions of step parents, these preconceived evil notions, and trust me, I understand. My earring fell out because I had to go get rain, and I understand where they came from, because I had an issue being a stepchild, and it messed with me to the point that when I was going through the things I was going through, the back and forth with my husband a couple of years back around the time when my son was born, and I was dating, I put it in my mind that I was not going to have, if I was going to date and be with somebody else, I was not going to have children with nobody else, because I never want my son to have the feeling of feeling like a second-class citizen to no one else, because I'm with someone else besides their father, and I never want my stepson to feel that way. That's why I try to do as much as I can as a stepmom. But in reality, like, everybody can't have that Will and Jada and Will's first wife's relationship. I don't know her name right now. Everybody can't have that, because everybody in that situation has to be willing to want that. And because, of course, when adult emotions are involved above the betterment of the children in the situation, that's the end result. You have the back and forth, and you have the unfairness and the level playing field and stuff like that. And that's just the reality. The reality is not Will and Jada and them. And I'm sure even with them, I'm sure at first that wasn't a reality for them either. At time it goes on, but that's something everybody in a situation has to be ready and willing to deal with. So basically, everyone who's watching this video, if you are a woman who's in a relationship with a man who has a child, or if you are a woman who has a child with a man who is in a relationship with somebody else, please consider the betterment of the situation for the children. Please consider the best interest of the children. The adults always say they consider the best of the possibility for the children, but there's no way you're considering the best possible situation with the children where you can't even be cordial with all adults involved, and it's always a problem at the least littlest thing. So yeah, but that's my video for now. I have to go because I have to go pick up Shotty from school, and I'm feeding Rain. So until next video, I'm out.